Welcome to another Synfig tutorial. So for this one, I will be making a simple eye rig. So let's get started. So let's explore our layers. So here we have the eyeball. We have a pupil on a separate layer, and we have two separate layers. One is the eyelid, the top part of the eyelid, and the other is the bottom part. Now we know that a real eye only has one that comes down, but this is a stylistic choice. All right, so I'll be showing you how to go about rigging this. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn off these, and I'm going to come to the pupil, and I'm going to rig the pupil so that we can move it using bones. So let me just come all the way up to the top here. Well, I'm actually going to come into this folder here, right click, new, and go to skeleton so I can get my bone. Let me just scale this down a bit, and I'm just going to parent it to the pupil, and we already know how to do this. So let me just go ahead and select this, right click, and link to bone. So now this is linked to the pupil. Okay, so that's one down. So let's go ahead and rig our eyelids. Now when rigging the eyelids, the first thing that you might have thought about doing was to create like a switch with different layers of the eyelids coming down, but to save time, you can actually do it another way using bones, and I'm going to show you that right now. So let me turn on the top part of the eyelids. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to create another bone. I'm just going to create a separate bone from this one instead of creating a child bone. So I'm going to go back to my skeleton. Let me move this down. I'm not going to put them in any particular order. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna call this eyelid top, and okay, I'm going to move it up here so that I can know that it's for the top eyelid. And what I'm going to do now is actually select the points right here that allow me to move this part of the eyelid. Okay, and then I'm going to Control select the eyelid bone, and then I'm just going to right click on the bone and click on link to bone, and all these points will be linked to the bone. So when I move the bone, we see that the eyelid is moving, but notice the issue that we have here. All right, we see that it's basically ripping apart. Well, no need to worry. All you need to do is just to expand the surface area of the eyelid shape so that it has more room, so that when it comes down we won't see that tear. And there we go. Okay, so let me move it back up, and we're pretty much going to do the same for this one. So let me turn this off and just focus on this, and I'm going to create another skeleton, another bone. Scale this down, and let me select these points right here and parent them to this one. Right click, link to bone, and there we have it. There we go. And I'm going to expand the surface area for this one as well. Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. And I'm going to rename this eyelid for bottom. Okay. So yeah, all we needed was 3 bones, and I'm going to turn back on the top eyelid. All right, so now we have everything all set up. And so let's go ahead and see if we can animate this. So I'm just going to go to my keyframe panel. Let me delete my first keyframe. I don't like having that there. And I am going to go to, so what am I trying to achieve? Okay, so I'm going to have the eyelids open up, and then I move around, and then have the eyelids come back down. Okay, so let's actually move these up from now. So let me bring this one up, all the way up till we can't see it, and let me move this one down. Right, actually, and let me put this one below this. Right, so let's go ahead and animate. So I'm going to turn on the animate button, and always remember to save. Okay, and I'm going to go to the pupil. Let me rename this actually, Pupil. All right, so wait, what was I supposed to? Okay, yeah, so I'm going to start off with the eye opening. So whoops, I guess I should have brought these back down just to get started. So let me, and notice we have some issues there. Let me just move this over and then bring this one down. Okay, should probably have created some like lines to indicate where it should stop, but that's okay. So I'm gonna have it like this. So it's because we had animate turned on, it assigned keyframes to it. So I'm just going to move down my timeline. I'm going to move this up and move this one down. Right, so if we play it back, we can see the animation happening there. Okay, and it happens really quickly. If you want it to move slower, just move your keyframes further apart and the movement will be slower, but I think I'm going to move it back here. Right, okay, so it opens, and then I'm going to have my eyes move around. So I'm going to go to my pupil bone, just going to move it slightly and move back up to add a keyframe. Then I'm going to maybe move it here, then move it here, just to do some simple movements. Let's have a look at that. And then I'm just going to duplicate this keyframe because I want it to move back into its original position at the end. Let's have a look at what we have. So if I play, okay, then maybe here I'm going to have the eyelids coming back to a close. So what I want to do is, let me click on the top eyelid first, and I'm going to duplicate this frame because I want it to stay in its same location until about here. I'm going to do the same with this one here. All right, then move down a bit, and then I'm going to bring them back to a well, actually, let me just duplicate the first frame because remember that the first frame had them closed, right? So all I need to do is just to duplicate these frames, move them down. All right, so let me take a look. Yeah, so I'm going to move these over. Well, let me leave that there, move this down. Yeah, so it's good that you can duplicate frames. And then I'm going to go to the top one now and pretty much do the same thing. So let me just duplicate the first frame, move it down. Just want to make sure they come together at the same time. So let me move these. Should probably have done more planning before this, but that is okay. Right, so let's play this out and see what it looks like. So it happened so fast that you didn't see it, but yeah, that's how you would rig the eye. And I would prefer this way because you don't have to use like a switch, so you don't have to create multiple shapes for the eyelids coming down. You know, you could just link the points to the bone and have the eyelids come down. Okay, so I hope you learned something in this one, and I will see you in the next video.
Yo, MRD.